So this is Euro USD on a 4 hours time frame, and today we are going to look at what happened on the market, right? And today we can see that we had a buying opportunities in the market, right? And this pair we can say that it's really bullish because we can see some this market is breaking structures, trying to push higher and higher, right? So we have that break of structure, and again we had what? We had this tiny break of structure here, right? So this market, after this break of structure, this market dropped to this point of interest at around this area, and we can see this market is trying to this demand, it's trying to hold these prices, targeting to break this swing high at around this area. Okay, so today this is what you could have done, right? You could have marked that break of structure, this demand, so you could have concluded that we are bullish. This market is reacting from this point of interest, right? So you could have done this. The first thing you wake up, just mark the previous day high like that, previously day high, and the previous day low, right? So, and after that, you mark the 50% of the previous day candle, right? So that's the 50% of the previous day candle, like that. And again, you could have added this confluence at around this area. You could have switched these charts to a line chart, right? After doing that, you could have seen that on this left side of the market, we have what? We have this drop, then we have this base, and again a drop, right? So after having that, you could have said that this drops forms what? Some resistance in the market, but this is a failed resistance, whereby we can see that this market gave us what? Instead of this market coming to this resistance here dropping, right? It broke above that resistance going up, right? So you could have marked that failed resistance like that. So a failed resistance turns to what? It turns to a support. So you could have marked like that, and you can see that this support area here, it aligns with the 50% of the previous day candle, right? So after doing this, now you can turn on your candles like that. So you've concluded that we have this support here, and we can see that the previous day candle has broken above what? The resistance. So now this becomes what? A support, right? So now that becomes a support zone. So you do expect what? You expect a market to retest after breaking above. So you expect market to retest, then going up. Okay, so you have marked the previous day high and the previous day low, and you've marked the 50%, and you have a support area. So now you go to a 4 hours candle, I mean a 4 hours time frame. So on the 4 hours time frame, you can even clearly see that this market, we had this support area here, and this support area was broken eventually, and then this market retested uh, this support, which became what? A resistance, right? Kindly let's mute our mic, please. Let's try and mute our mics kindly. So after retesting this resistance, we can see that this market pushed down, mitigating the demand on a higher time frame, and it pushed higher again, retesting again the resistance level. But market, we had a beautiful sell from there, going down. Again, the market came back to the resistance level again, right? It tried to resist, but eventually we had a breakout. So after the breakout, we had this resistance, I mean a retest. So this is a break and a retest. Okay, so this is the area where today you could have taken your buys from this area, trying to push the market going higher. Okay, so today you could have done that. So let's continue. Okay, so at around this area where we are much concentrating at around this area, because we have this support area, and we have this previous daily candle high and the daily low, and again on that area we have what? We have this breakout structure around this area. So after having that breakout structure, we have this institutional candle, right? We're having this beautiful engulfing candle which engulfed this area. And also you can see that we might have this something like a consolidation at around that area. That's a consolidation, market consolidating at around that area, right? So this is a consolidation, and we can see that this beautiful candle, after sweeping this liquidity line below this consolidation area here, then we had what? That beautiful buying opportunities, right? Then after this after this candle taking out all the liquidity lying around this area and this area, then we had a retest towards what? Towards this point of interest at around that area. So let me remove that. So we had that retest to that point of interest there, right? And also remember, this line is the 50% of the daily candle. So we retested back to the 50% of the daily candle, and also we retested back to our support zone, right? It retested back to our support zone. So what could you have done? So the last 4-hourly candle, we have this of Wednesday at around 12. Okay, 12. This is the candle you could have marked like that, the high and the low, and also the 50% of this candle here, like that. Then we have this beautiful candle here. Do you see this beautiful candle here, right? So this beautiful candle here, it went what? Towards the low of this bearish candle like this. So let's say, for example, we have this candle here. Let's call this candle, let it be this bearish candle. So you could have marked from the wick, from the high wick, the lower wick, right? Like that. And we have this 50%. So this candle here of this candle of bullish, as it goes towards the low, past the low of this bearish candle like this, all right, and it mitigates your zone, be it a fair value gap, be it a demand, right, or an order block. Immediately you go to a lower time frame and you start looking for confirmation entry to take a buy. So you'll be taking a buy, targeting this high also, this high, because we have swept the liquidity line, or we are targeting to sweep the liquidity line below this bearish candle around here, so that we can target the high of that, and we target the any high, any liquidity going upward like that. So let's use what we have learned from here to this we apply it here, right? So we can see that this bullish candle went below the low of this bearish candle and mitigated this our zone, right? So let's go to 15 minutes as our lower time frame, right? So we have this, the high of that bearish candle and the low of that bearish candle here at this one. At the 50% is that that candle bearish, the 50% of that bearish candle, right? And again, we can see what can we see? We can see this bearish candle is the one which mitigated this zone. This bearish candle is the one which activated this zone, right? So it activated this zone, whereby again it swept some liquidity lying below this 15 minutes candle and closed inside the range of what? This beautiful candle, right? You can all see that. So we have this as our sweep of liquidity. So we can mark that as our sweep of liquidity. Okay, right. So we have that sweep of liquidity around there. Then this candle, we can see the following candle again, the bullish one. It's an engulfing candle which it has engulfed which candle? This candle which swept the low of this, which took out the liquidity lying around this area, right? So this candle, after being engulfed like that, you could have taken this bearish candle to be your zone now, like that, right? Now, this is the area where you are supposed to be looking for a buying opportunity. First entry you could have taken it at around this area, right? You could have taken a buy from this area. Let me mark it so that you can see that area very clear. So you could have marked it at around that area. This is the area you could have entered your buy, right? You could have entered a buy from that area going up. So you could have targeted where? You can see the entries around here. So you could have targeted this high to be your first take profit, and the previous daily what candle, the previous daily high, this is the Tuesday high, to be your either your full take profit. It depends on where you want to target, right? According to your risk reward ratio. Okay. So after sweeping that liquidity, this is an area where you are supposed to be looking for buying opportunities, right? So this is the first area you could have entered. Then for those people who use change of character, now you could have switched this to a line chart again. If you wanted a more clear chart, you could have taken this to be your break of structure. Then you could have taken this to be your change of character. That's a change of character. And again, you could have taken this area where we entered first to be your inducement level. This could be your inducement level, right? This could be your inducement level. And again, we have another thing here. We have something like a head and a shoulder, the inverted head and shoulder. So we have a shoulder here. We have another shoulder. Another shoulder here. But this shoulder has not been formed, right? So we have a head here. So you could have marked what? You could have marked this shoulder like that, so that you expect the other shoulder to be formed at around this area so that you can take that buy, right? So we had multiple of confirmation entries at this area, right? So you could have marked this change of character, then turn on your chart, and also you can see that you could have been waiting for this area to be swept, to be this low to be swept, so that you can have that buy. And also, as I taught you earlier, I can see that we have something which I taught you. Let's adjust this to this high around that area. I even taught you that if for us to identify a valid break of structure or a change of character, I told you it must be from a wick to a body. If you don't see a body, then you need to transfer that high or that low until you see that body, so that that area can be qualified to be a break of structure or a change of character. So if we're going to transfer this high, now we're going to transfer it to that point. And again, we can see we have what? We have this week here. Then you do the transfer from that area to this area. And again, you can see we have what? We have a week. So that means we're going to transfer this high from this area again to this area until we have this body now here. So now this area, we call this area all now a change of character because we have that body up there, right? So after having that body, now all these laws which has caused all these sweep, remember these are all these sweeps. These are sweeps of liquidities around this area. But this market is trying to push higher. But again, it has broken at around this area. So all these highs, expect the lows of these candles now. The lows of these highs also to be taken out. So these are all the lows now. So these provide what? Liquidity. So now these are the liquidities, right? So this point of interest we've marked here, it's a valid point of interest there. So you could have entered there after all this liquidity have been taken out like that. So after this liquidity have been taken out, again, you can see, and you've entered a buy from this area. Again, we have an internal, a small break of structure there. And again, we have this beautiful point of interest, and we have this imbalance here, right? So if this market can come back to this area, then we might expect some push from this point of interest going up, right? So today you could have, let's say, if you could have gotten this buying, these are how many pips? Let's say you could have entered there, then stop loss just a little bit there, then you could have been targeting, let's say, around day there, let's say the daily high. It depends with the risk you are applying to the market. Let's say around there, right? So today we moved like this around this area. But again, we're going to look at this reversal. But for this buying, for the continuation of the trend, this is how you could have gotten that beautiful buying. So you could have been holding it if you really know what you are doing in the market, right? So you could have been targeting another liquidity area on either on 4 hours or anywhere you want. So you could have been even targeting these areas because I even told you we have something like some equal highs here. So you can even target this area. You can target this area, and I can see we have a beautiful push. Yeah, this market is trying to push going higher, but we might experience some resistance, but at around this area. But I'm expecting this area to be taken out so that we can grab this liquidity lying around this area. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting on Euro USD. At let's go to 5 minutes just a little bit so that I can show you something. I can show you on how you could have managed to catch this retracement, right? So in order for you to catch this retracement, right? In order for you to catch this retracement, we have these tiny break of structures at around these areas. For the previous, we have these break of structures. We have these break of structures.